Important entity once you enter the world of trucking, logistics, and supply chain. Welcome, African American Women Trucking Association. We are. If you feel like you may not know what's next, you may not have the support, you might not even have the resources. Well, the best thing about this is we're not just offering education and certification. We're a trucking association first. All right, so we take pride in that. And so, what does being a trucking association mean? It means that we're here to advocate for you, provide you resources, provide you education, and make sure we're able to support you along the way. All right. So it's not just about you becoming a member or you becoming a student. It's about your safety. Okay. It's about your rights. It's about representing you as an entity. And so don't let the name scare you. We are here for everybody. We're here to support women. We're here to support men. We're here to support those that are in second chance reentry. We're here to support youth development. We are all about career development, workforce development, all about supporting you on your journey all through the beginning and the end. Hence the reason we're calling it Driven Together. So we feel like that's a little bit of background about us, and it's really important to get to know you. We will let you be comfortable, right? And talk in the chat. We really want to make sure that you get to know one another. For those that are OGs, like if you so happen to be a member and you're here on this call because you're interested in what's next, we put that you're an OG member in the chat. If you are, we'll pick on throughout this course here. Please make sure you indicate that in the chat. Or if you're any leadership, all right, please. So if you're one of our OG members, all right, instructors, leaders, I'm asking you to, hey, announce yourself. Hey, girl, hey, in the chat, introduce yourself. And for those of you that are guests, right, so you're here to learn more about our mission and our vision. Those are the people. By all means, don't be shy. Ask, all right, ask questions in the chat. All right, introduce yourself. Let people know you're a guest, what you're interested in, all right? And at the end, if you're comfortable coming off camera, especially you that I get, welcome you to do so and to ask questions as we go through this presentation. So don't be shy. Please, please, please introduce yourself in the chat. And we look forward to getting to know you. Thank you again to our leaders, our OGs, and our instructors for loving on our guests. All right. Share your background, define your interests, express your goals. We're here to learn and to know who you are. All right. So we call this certification Behind the Desk. I wonder why. So we talk a little bit about trucking, logistics, and supply chain in the very beginning of our intro. And there's so many different components of that program that is layered. And a lot of people have a hard time understanding how they can involve themselves in a program that's going to not put them behind the wheel, i.e. being a truck driver. So when people think truck is the first thing they're thinking about, man, I'm not interested in driving one of those 18-wheelers or one of those big old trucks like that. And that's completely understandable, because if I got behind the wheel, I'd really clear a highway. Okay, true story, not a joke. I have a passion for organization, compliance. I have a passion for learning things, and I love to be the go-to. Okay, so we're going to see why I said a little bit about what the go-to is as we move further down. But to talk a little bit about the certification in a whole, it's something that's going to really help you what being a dispatcher is. All right, understanding regulatory compliance, understanding the importance of implementing technology systems in your day-to-day operation. How do we do that? I'm scared of technology. Well, that's why you want to go training. That's why you want to skip YouTube University, and that's why you want some hands. That's the importance of making sure you have somebody that is able to correct your right and wrongs and put you on the right path. Not only put you on the right path, but also support your journey. So we make sure we provided this program, this 4-week program that is going to provide you 13 modules, okay, supporting integration into trucking logistics, all right, and providing you portal access, which is really cool. So how you're listening to me speak right now and you're looking at a presentation is not your only form of training. There's so many ways. We want to ensure that you're learning and comprehending the information that we're providing to you. So yes, this is definitely part of your training. You would interact with 2 days of a live virtual instruction or virtual of which your instructor, a certified instructor, which I'm going to introduce one in a few minutes to talk about her experience as a certified instructor and what the program brings to you. All right. And so those are the things that it does for the next 4 weeks. So we're giving you portal access, which is your hybrid learning hybrid learning method. All right. To provide you the support that you need, access at any time, 24/7 access to your materials, to your assignments, to your assessments, interactive learning, lots of module support, mentorship that happens post completion of your modules, and a ton of digital resources to support your learning along the way. So the program is extremely comprehensive, and ensures that whether you go virtual, whether you go in person, or do our new self-paced option, it is going to provide you a comprehensive insight on learning. All right, so let's look into a little bit of what that might be. All right, so we talked about dispatching. What is a dispatcher? A lot of people like, what is that? I'm really interested in that. Man, I like to say, consider yourself a professional trucking liaison. All right. You are the middle person between the shipper, the broker, and the driver. You are the mouthpiece. You're the one that's going to do a lot of the legwork, a lot of the communication. I like to use the word problem solving. I probably should add counselor. Those of you that do dispatching will agree, because man, you're hearing everybody's problems across the board, and boy, you better care. All right, you better care. And compliance partner. Why? Why do you care about compliance, especially when you really have the least amount of liability? All right, liability. What are you talking about, man? Talk about training. Talk about the importance of understanding everybody's role. Who has to carry what? Those things are important for you to know for your safety and your client's safety. Remember, I talked about you being a liaison. If everybody's telling you their problems, you're going to have to find a way to either solve it or find a way to route them to a proper resource to make sure that it's done. All right. So as you're their compliance partner, and you're looking out for their best interests, even though they have the most liability, it now makes you a huge asset in this person's day-to-day. All right. So when you put yourself in the position to gain the resources, all right, the industry education and the support that you need, you put yourself in a position to win. Put yourself in a position to become an important entity in that new function that you just learned. Now, all right, we talked about why is that important and what is this importance? Man, booking loads is the heartbeat of trucking and the moving aspect of it, right? Now, if you talk about the supply chain, if you talk to somebody in supply chain and logistics, they're going to tell you something completely different. But I'm going to tell you this one time. I like to use this example. Charmin toilet paper. They can manufacture all the toilet paper they want to. And if their key target is the large grocery stores and the Walmarts and the Targets, it has to get there. But hold on, there's a whole nother step before it even gets there. There's like 4 other steps. And most people don't take that into consideration. Hence the reason why trucking, logistics, and supply chain separate themselves. They care about how something is manufactured. They care about time frames. They care about the logistics of how the products are moving around. And they go from their warehouse to their distribution center. And then it'll be the distribution center's problem, how things get to where they need to go. And the distribution center is like, we care about, let's see who we can call. One of those trucking guys, right? To see if they can come pick this up and take this to a Walmart or a Target. So they care, but they only care when it gets to a certain point. That's just the honest to God truth. And so we need to be able to understand what those key components are and different aspects, and how we're going to be able to help with that organization, how we're going to help each party. Remember, we're a professional trucking liaison. How we're going to help these parties connect the dots, how we're going to be a resource. Okay. And the only way you're able to be a resource is with education and networking. One of the things you'll always hear me say, if you know me, on top of some of my other little jingles here, it's not what you know, but it's who you know. And I know we've all heard that. Okay. That's not something I made up and picked up out of the sky. That is just the truth and reality of life. Networking is key. Hence the reason I first said, hey, OGs, okay, leaders, hey, who else? Members, leaders, whoever, instructors, hey, please put your information first, because those of you that are not in the business, right, or that are interested in the business, man, these are going to be some of your resources. Even if they are to say, hey, I got a question about definition, I'm trying to tell you, most of us don't mind. Now, what we are going to say to you is, hey, have you signed up for that Driven Together program? Hey, have you been showing up at some of these free education courses that AAWTA provides to their members? Or, hey, have you been reading the newsletters that provide very good insight and specific information for those of us behind the desk and behind the wheel? That's going to be the answer. That is some of your resources, right? That is some of your networking, because they're pointing you in the right direction. But imagine when you get in the field and you have a dispatching question because you have a driver and he's stuck in Florida. Ooh, you guys don't even understand the headache to be stuck in Florida yet, but you will, because we all have it. How can I get this driver? I am telling you, this is one of those times your driver isn't stuck in Florida and he had an amazing load that got him down there. Money was great. And we thought we had a load secured for him to get out of there, and they canceled the load. And now your driver's there. And he's freaking out because he needs to be in another location because he has another pickup. What do you do? Who do you call? This is why networking is key. This is why you get involved with not just a program, all right, just a class, but with an entity that is able to support not just your education, but your what's next. Okay. And so trucking, African American Trucking Association understands the importance of resources. That's the main reason why we were here, why we were developed, to ensure that we were able to advocate for you, listen to what the industry needs, but also be able to provide you some great support. Now, for those of you who've never been on any of one of my sessions, I don't read these slides. Everybody gets a copy of these after the presentation. So even if you didn't make it, more than likely you're catching the replay. And we thank you for catching the replay. We even thank you more for being here live, taking the time out of your day to learn about how to transform and transition into trucking logistics. All right. So our learning objective with this whole entire certification and program is to make sure that we are able to define your professional responsibilities, making sure you have a great understanding of what it's like to become a dispatcher. What is your day-to-day? How to connect the dots, making sure that you're able to connect knowledge to practice. Why is that important? So you're able to actually implement everything you learned until it's second nature. All right. Making sure that you're able to document, making sure that you're able to have the resources after the course. Okay. And the continuation after the course. Okay. It doesn't just end when you graduate. It continues. And you'll see why it continues, because we're giving you a membership that's free. All right. So you get a free membership in addition to I'm sorry here. You get a membership in addition to, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't skip it. In addition to you coming on, you get your free membership. You get access to our free marketplace. That's actually further down. I'm sorry. I was like, did I miss it? How did I miss the important parts? So you're getting all the knowledge to practice, and these things are going to be secondhand. Oh, I got a problem. Let me go to my resources. Let me go to my marketplace. Maybe this is a problem for your driver. Maybe it's a problem for your peer. Somebody that you met in here today that you guys are going to buddy up to make sure that you guys go through with the next step. Okay, go through with your journey. You set goals together. All right, you identify daily standards. As I talked about, what is day-to-day operation? Okay, getting into something amazing and new, such as a dispatcher, something great. But what does that day-to-day look like? You'll work with certified trainers. All right, your certified instructors aren't just instructors that just woke up and decided they were going to do this. This is them being in the industry. All right, this is them formalizing their education. They've all taught in different capacities, and they decided to understand how do we translate certain information to ensure that our adults are understanding and comprehending what they're taking in, and that they're able to actually use this information. And again, what did I say? To their day-to-day. So those are the things that we ensured that we did. Again, all of your instructors are certified. Can I say hello to any of my certified instructors? I believe we have Erica on the line. Thank you for your service. Erica, I'm going to stop right there. Just let you introduce yourself quick as a certified instructor. Let them know a little bit about you and how the Driven Together education program is an awesome start to their journey. Erica, are you available?
I am here. Hold on. I'm even going to turn my camera on for y'all. Hold on so I can. Hi, everybody. My name is Erica, and I have been with AAWTA since the beginning of last year. One thing I can definitely say about this program, number one, they really support you. The network is amazing. With me just getting into the industry myself, I've been able to partner with our other instructors who've had years and years and years of experience, not just behind the wheel, but behind the desk as well. One thing I will say about this program is it's perfect if you are a working adult. I'm grown. I have a 9-to-5 job as well. And they're very, very supportive of that. One thing about dispatching is it's something that you can start with your cell phone. You know what I mean? You need a cell phone and some connections, and you're off to the races. Just like Nicole, she mentioned being stuck in Florida. That's where your connections definitely come in. Learning those core duties and expectations of a freight dispatcher, especially in those daily operations, like we're talking real regulation, safety guidelines. We're going to go over load management with you, like knowing, okay, if I'm going from point A to C, then I need a point B to pick up another load or drop off. Just make sure that you always are moving something and making sure that it's as efficient and optimized as possible. And those are really important skills to have. Just a little background about me. I actually started in the transportation industry in aviation. I've been dispatching overall since 2014. I started dispatching in hospitals. Then I started dispatching 911, and the whole thing is just about coordination. And the other thing I love about this program is it really hones into your transferable skills. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think that there would be so much in common with dispatching for hospitals and for 911. It's all about coordination, knowing and prioritizing what you need to do, and communication. And if you have those skills, you can really thrive in this industry. So I'm going to go ahead and give it back to Nicole because I don't want to take up too much time. I know we're all busy people.
Service and trucking logistics and supply chain, and definitely here at AAWTA. So yes, that is one of our newer certified instructors. And when I tell you, blew me out the water just to hear her strengths and just to see how much energy she has, how much knowledge she brings. And I'm just excited to see these group of women, because it's 6 group of amazing women combined probably have 300 years of service. They wouldn't appreciate me saying that because everybody's like 25. Right, we're all 25. Me too. And so just to see how much service they have, just like Erica said, not just behind the desk, but behind the wheel, it's extraordinary. Because again, these women are driving. All right, they're driving and they're dispatching, or they were on the road. Some of them still behind the wheel and still behind the desk, not just dispatching for themselves, but dispatching for other carriers. Okay, those of you that are brand new to the area, I'm brand new to the industry. Carriers meaning, trucking company. All right, so AK trucking company. So those are some terminologies you would learn, and you understand how we some of these terminologies are interchangeable. And how they're used based off of who you're speaking to. Those things are important as well. And like I'm speaking to you guys, I'm an audience that is learning the industry. I want you to understand that carrier and trucking company is the same. All right. So we'll just for to keep it simple. But that was what we have: support compliance. But I just want to highlight the word support. Support is important. Okay, I said this 2 times, and this is my third. Okay, make sure you're keeping count. It is not what you know. Okay, it is also who you know in this industry. So on being able to connect your knowledge with your network is gold. Okay, absolutely gold. That's what we appreciate, the partnerships that we have, because they're able to bring you additional support. They're able to bring you exactly what our mission entails. All right. And we'll talk a little bit more about our marketplace towards end. Want to make sure I respect your time and keep it moving and keep it open for questions. All right. I talked about, terminology. As you see, these are common conversations that we have. It doesn't matter who you're speaking to, you're going to hear certain things that people talk about. Conversations, communications, industry terms and terminology, very, very important. And it is something that it becomes fluent the more that you use it, the more that you understand it. And each it's categorized as we teach it, so that you're able to input it and implement it in your day-to-day, especially as you're learning this industry. And so I could tell you that is the biggest barrier for a lot of people is industry terms, as well as product identification. All right, I like to call that nomenclature. So product identification, most people can't identify what is what. And what I mean when it comes down to what's considered a semi, what falls under Department of Transportation's rules and regulations, what falls under the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Man, all of those alphabet boys, who are those guys? How important to me are they? Very. Let's start with that. All right. So all of that comes into play and can feel confusing because it's so much until it's laid out in a way that you have an understanding and it's broken down by sector. So we definitely, we hammer that in. We do the picture method too, because we believe, pictures support the vision. And so we make sure that we really dig deep into that. We talk a lot about driver qualifications and management, matching your driver to loads. That's important. Just because there's a load and just because you have a driver doesn't mean that they match. All right. So everything goes together. Talking about identifying product, identifying terminology, understanding what trucks look like, the weights of different trucks. All of those things matter because again, it's going to help you with you being the liaison, but it's also going to help you, to increase your client load. When the more that you know, the more that it's going to really suit you. All right, it's going to put you in a better position to negotiate better. All right, to have conversations, more informed conversations with brokers. Okay, to gain more business with drivers. All right, little things like that. So matching to drivers are a big deal. Understanding class. All right, CDL classes. You cannot use your regular driver's license and drive a semi truck, but you can use your regular driver's license and drive a box truck. Okay, and a cargo van. Cargo van, everybody's like, what's the difference? I'm not sure. Think about your Shein packages. I like to say it that way. Those, and guess what? All of that is considered trucking. All of that falls under DOT, Department of Transportation, FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, all of the people that care about this whole ecosystem. All right. So those are the things that you learn, putting you in the driver's seat to what's next. Awesome. All right. Compliance and safety oversight. That is very, very important. It's good for you. Again, we talked about how am I going to impress my driver? How am I going to impress my broker, i.e. your clients? Right. So the more that you know, the more that they can tell that you know. All right. So it's important to understand and learn the back end, even though it's not you in the physical driver's seat, it's you. That's your client. It's important to understand hours of service. You have a driver saying, man, I'm just going to run 15 hours straight. I know you lying because you're not going to get us in trouble. All right. So these are the things that you got to understand. Why can't they drive more than 11 hours? What does that even mean? And how are we even determining that they're driving? What electronic devices are monitoring them? And who, even better, if I needed a particular electronic device because I'm working with somebody who's new to the business and doesn't understand, where would I go? Remember, it's not what you know, who you know. All right. So you got a big old community as well. We have our Marketplace Advantage Hub free to you, right? So you've taken this course, you have your resources, okay? That's that word again, that are able to provide you the support that you need, okay? So support, driver needs to understand hours of service. Now you ask somebody here, right? You connect with somebody in your network, one of the meetings, virtual or in person. Now the driver needs it. How do you actually ensure that he's getting one that works? One that's going to ensure that is going to provide him the information that he needs. And it's important. Well, you have AAWTA with the marketplace. All right. So we have the Marketplace Advantage Hub that has a lot of your products and services that you need in order to be successful in this business. So you might not be for you directly, but indirectly, your driver, the broker, another dispatch, a friend, somebody needed, and you can be a resource of service, especially with that's something that's offered to you at no additional cost. All right. So those things are important. And as I talk about the marketplace, I love to bring up that we have virtual assistants as well. So that's something that we'll be launching in our beta next month as well. So for those of you that are not tech savvy or looking to start slow, build your social media websites, we have all of that's here to support you. Again, not what you know, who you know. All right. So weight and documentation. What does weight even mean? Is there a weight of the vehicle? Absolutely. We want to make sure that we understand all of that because that provides safety. They have something called flatbeds. So when you're on the road and you see those big old semis transporting cars and trucks to dealerships and all over the place, auctions and things like that, they have to make sure that stuff is they're load bearing weight. They have to make sure that the weight is distributed properly and that it's not too heavy on one side or too heavy on the next, because there could be an issue, and that issue can cause a lot of damage on the road. It can cause very, very bad safety issues, if you know what I mean. So things like that is important to understand, thing that you'll get to learn. All right. And then I talked about problem solving under pressure. The more you involve yourself and put yourself in a situation to learn, especially after you graduate, right? So after you finish your course, you're going to have an opportunity to breathe. And this is where mentorship comes in. All right. And mentorship is where you have an opportunity to really catch your breath, grab everything that you've learned, and use as an opportunity to take some our library courses or additional courses that support your learning. Hours of service is one that's my favorite. It's like 10 minutes, and now you are almost a master in hours of service, and take that to the table. And have an opportunity to work with your mentor, aka your instructor, on understanding and breaking down that information. That's important because number one, we want to make sure that you're comprehending the information. And number two, maybe you need more. All right, maybe you need more. And that is your opportunity to gain more during those mentorship sessions. That's the information that you're going to use when you're under pressure. That's the information that you're going to use to help you critically think. Because after you've taken all that in, right? All right, because I don't know if you've taken any class, man. You take class, you're all excited. You learn. Man, there's so much information. You got about 20-30% of it. You go home and you're like, well, how am I supposed to? This is why we do our certification just like that. We want you to go home. We want you to decompress. We want you to take the time to critically think, to dissect the information, to learn, read, okay, absorb all of the online hybrid learning, meet with your instructor, ask questions, do interactive, okay, lessons, studies, sessions, and now you work it down in a series of ways that help you to, number one, for this to become second nature, but number two, for you to learn and to absorb this information. So when it's time for you to problem solve, when it's time for you to get into the field of being that professional liaison, those are the things that you go to. All right, your resources, all of the learning that you had. All right. And then last and not least, I like to talk about this program being great for accountability and really just supporting everything, because one of the first things that everybody's registered for is an orientation. All right, an orientation and an onboarding class. So we do this. It's actually assigned to you. You're given the first module, getting you used to using that online portal. Also helping you with what we call your SMART goals. Okay, that's a big deal. It is different than just saying, "Yep, I know I want to be a dispatcher." We're being intentional. All right, with setting goals that help you with your accountability, and we're supporting you along that journey. So we put that in place first. All right, for everybody, whether you're behind the wheel or behind the desk, taking our freight dispatcher course or supply chain certification. Each and every person, we want to make sure that you have a comprehensive understanding of what you're doing, why you're doing it, putting deadlines in place for yourself, all right, and a plan of action, especially for those of you that want to transition probably from corporate America, or incorporate this in your day-to-day, in addition to having another stream of income, and that's fine too. But it's going to be important that you set those goals, all right? Write it down, put some numbers on it, and have a pathway to follow what that looks like, all right? So our goal here with the Driven Together education program, all right, is to ensure your success, create you a foundation, make sure that you put a program in place that doesn't just support the beginning stages of your learning, but also travels and follows you along the way, helps build a foundation that you can build on top of, okay? Because this is not the only thing that you can attend. There are more classes and certifications and workshops that you can add and build upon your learning. The next step would be a supply chain certification. The next step is if you chose to become a broker or work in compliance, you could even choose to go behind the desk based off of this experience. The sky is the limit. But the first step is really understanding what that foundation is, putting yourself in a position to learn, become educated, and grow. Grow with, again, we're just not a class. We're just not an education facility for center. We love all of that. We're a trucking association first. All right. We take pride in making sure that we stand behind our community when it comes down to education, resources, and advocacy. We're here to support you in your journey and hear the things that you actually need. All right. So we're really excited to make sure that you get into this industry with confidence and you are ready to path forward. Okay. That's what it's all about. We want to thank all of our partners that are on our marketplace, Advantage Hub 2.0, providing you products and services that are here to make sure they support your journey, whether you're going to entrepreneur, you become a company driver. Either way, these are resources you will need in this lifetime, even with this journey. So we're excited about being able to bring you on over and support you. Just not pick you up and drop you, but bring you on over with a hand, okay? With a hold your hand, coming on over, and make sure that you're able to understand what you're doing and be supported along that journey. So we want to get you enrolled. We want to make sure we answer your questions. We have an amazing support staff that is incredible. Shout out to all of you guys that are on support. Want to definitely give a special shout out to our program manager, Maitri. So if those of you that are going forward, and if you've ever done a registration, or you're interested and you filled out our kickoff form, just know that you have an amazing program manager that is behind you every step of the way to ensure your success, to make sure that your onboarding goes smoothly, to make sure that your user student experience is immaculate. All right. And we want to thank each and every one. Yes, we love Maitri. Maitri, we thank you so much for supporting these women and men that come into this journey and going to enhance their lives. And I mean, doing something scary, guys, doing something new. And she understands that. She did not have a trucking background. I'm gloating on her for a minute because you guys don't understand how much she cares and how much she sits there to ensure that our program is a success. So thank you, Maitri, and thank you to our instructors that support and have also developed this program to ensure that our students are able to learn. All right, so that's that. We have this presentation that's going to go out to you. Again, even if you are catching the replay, you are able to follow along with us. Click these buttons. We'll go ahead and have this out to you within 24 business hours. All right, you'll be able to click the button and get started. Getting started with us means our kickoff form. Let us know that you're interested, and we definitely are here to help you along the way. We have finance options available. We have other options that are available depending on the course that you're taking here, but we got a special offer for you. So I'm excited to present that as well. Need more one-on-one, have more questions. Maybe you're not comfortable asking the questions as I open the floor in this in the next few minutes. That's perfectly fine. We have a section here that you can book with one of our enrollment specialists. You'll probably, our program manager will more than likely respond. Our enrollment specialist, I might respond. One of our instructors, you don't know who you're going to get on the call. We'd like to make sure that you're taken care of. The point is, if you have a question, we're here to help you. We definitely want to get you started and get you rolling. We have orientation that's actually starting this Saturday. Okay. Yep. And so if you want to get in for orientation this Saturday, today's your day to really move forward. Really excited about helping you move forward because then we can help you with your journey, all right, and get you enrolled for next month's class. So that's definitely what we want to do. First step, again, is that orientation. So let's get you started so that we can get you in next month's class, all right, and complete your onboarding. That's going to be important. So onboarding consists of gaining system here, getting you onboarded, making sure you have access to your module, and then ready for your orientation, where we do a comprehensive